Well, Scotland is proving what many of us have said for years. Woke progressivism leads all the way back to paganism. Last week, the Scottish Government invited a pagan to address Parliament on behalf of druids, shamans and witches. Local media called it an historic day. Indeed, Scotland now seems to be the first country in the world to be run by Disney. Reverend Linda Haggerstone, who once described how her grandmother influenced her path in life by, quote, putting out sources of milk for the fairies, became the first pagan to address MPs.
My chosen path is Druidry, but a pagan may, for example, identify as Wiccan, heathen, or a witch. By the power of star and stone, by the power of the land within and without, by all that is fair and free, I welcome you today to this time for reflection.
OK. Haggerstone and her fairies at the bottom of the garden spirituality is finding growing popularity amongst the global elite. Here's the opening of this month's World Economic Forum conference in Davos.
Why should I?
Seems reasonable. And here's Energy Minister Chris Bowen dedicating the site of a new wind turbine with a smoking ceremony.
The Energy Minister on board saying this helps Australia meet its target of 82% renewables by 2030.
Now, atheists would likely be more surprised by the upsurge in pagan spirituality than Christians. Atheists, typified by Richard Dawkins, argued that when humanity finally kicked the Christian God to the curb, we'd be free of religion forever. They should have listened to G.K. Chesterton, who rightly predicted that people would not replace their belief in God with nothing, but with belief in anything. And the Apostle Paul argued that a culture rejecting God would inevitably end up worshipping creation. The reason, he said, was obvious. The majesty of creation points to the divine, making it seem divine itself. The West's flirtation with atheism was always going to be short. It's just not sustainable to believe in nothing. And so our post-Christian culture of atheism, where nothing was worshipped, is slowly giving way to a pre-Christian culture of paganism in which creation is worshipped. Now, I say pre-Christian for practical and historic reasons. Practically, people who subscribe to the magic of creation eventually realise that where there's magic, there must be a magician. And historically, that's exactly what happened. The very last thing pagans ever did was get baptised into the Christian church. When the atheist elite start venerating creation, we know that culture has turned a corner. No longer post-Christian, but pre-Christian. No longer travelling further away from God, but slowly starting to come back around without actually realising it.